It's so good to see you. It is so good to see you in this project. I love all of the buzz already. Congratulations on
Thank you so much.
On Venice. I mean, that had to feel particularly good, right? I know that the work, it's all about the work, and the accolades are like a cherry on top, but it had to feel pretty good to get across another finish line and be like, what?
It felt amazing because I love that festival so much. I went to Venice Festival the first time 30 years ago with my first movie. And if somebody would have told me then that I was ever gonna win, I don't know if I would have believed them, you know. And when Barbara from El Deseo called me to tell me you won, and winning with a movie with Pedro is even more special for me. So yeah, it was, of course, a very big deal for me.
Okay, wait, so you have to take me back 30 years. What was the movie?
It was Jamón Jamón with Vigas Luna. And yeah, it was my first movie, and we went there, and I remember like flipping out with everything and seeing Jack Lemmon like waiting for the boat and like crazy things like this. I remember like if it was yesterday. And actually this year, I've been there a few times over the year, but this year when I went and I won, I could, all these images from my first time 30 years ago were coming back to mind.
Yeah. And life has that kind of, you know, it's so funny. The movie is called Parallel Mothers, but life really does have that kind of parallel experience where you're like, I've been here before, but it's a whole new thing. It feels so familiar, but it's a whole new experience.
Completely, yeah.
Tell me about playing Janice, because I can imagine as a mom, not me, you, but I can imagine as a mother playing this mother, going through this experience of motherhood, this experience with sacrifice, that was like, you brought some of your own experience to it, of course, but that this was a whole new scenario.
Yeah, I mean, I try to work from my imagination and try not to force my own traumas or my own fears into my work, but it's impossible that it would not get mixed up sometimes. There is always that little window that is open for your own things to pass through, but I just don't like to force that process. And, you know, thinking about any mother in that threat situation, what happens to Janice in the movie is very particular and peculiar, and it doesn't happen very often, but there are, you know, so many cases of women and mothers around the world that have like any kind of threat about losing what they love the most. So at the end, the movie talks about that love, and it was challenging, of course, because there has to be a lot of truth in that. But being there with Pedro and with all my colleagues, with all the other actresses, I look back and I remember it as an incredible experience.
You've said it was intense. You said it was one of the most intense. Playing Janice was one of the most intense ever. Tell me why.
But I stayed with a smile on my face because I feel so grateful that he has given me, you know, all these incredible, complex characters. And the fact that they are difficult and challenging is great news for me, because that's what we all want as actors and actresses. We want that kind of material. You don't want something that is too easy or that is too similar to yourself or to things that you have played before. So I'm so grateful to Pedro for all these opportunities. And Janice is just like, I know it's one of the best characters that I will ever find.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. You talk about an actor's journey, an actor's request, you know, of the material be that it is meaty, it is complex, it reflects the real human experience, right? That it's not just this one-dimensional, hi, okay, we're here, and these are the circumstances, and we move through. But that there's, you know, you don't know who you're rooting for even.
Yeah, exactly. And he does that in a way that he's not judging any of the characters. So then you as the audience, I feel you cannot judge them either, because he goes into what goes into making those decisions for them, what goes into Janice's mind, like what makes her decide to be quiet and lie for so long, and then what pushes her to say the truth and risk everything. And he writes in a way that you will understand, like all of them, even the mother played by Aitana Sanchez Gijon, the mother who says that she doesn't have maternal instincts, and she never did. And you're listening to that monologue, and even if you are the opposite in your own life, like I've had maternal instinct since I was 4 years old. I knew I wanted to be a mother, but I see that other way of seeing it, and I understand I cannot judge it either. Mm-hmm. And this is what Pedro has always done with all his writing from the beginning of his career.
You say you knew you wanted to be a mother since you were 4. What does that look like? Are you like going to school and people say, all right, Penelope, what do you want to be when you grow up? Are you like, I want to be a mom? Like, what is that?
I used to say, I was in the ballet school saying I want to act. I wanted to play Carmen at 4. My teacher was like, you are a little young for that. It's a little dark for you. And then I was always acting with my friends. When I was playing, I was acting. So it was always the role of the mother with all my dolls and all my toys. It was mother, this energy. And that Pedro captured very well, because he's, a very close friend, and he knows I have always had that. And most movies that I've done with him, the character was either pregnant or I was a mother.
Right. It is. I mean, it's cool to be able to lean on a friend in that kind of way, to also help you crack open new layers, right? In this new way of playing, right? I read, tell me if I'm wrong, but I read that you were actually very protective of even the doll on set. Like you were like, when they would come to get the doll, for the scenes, you're like, whoa, hold up, wait, now hold on.
Yeah, I was acting very weird, but I understand what was happening. After 4 or 5 months of rehearsals, the obsession with the daughter, and at that point we didn't have the real baby, so it was a doll, and that department with props was always afraid to get in close to me, because they were gonna take it away, and I would have weird reactions, and I felt okay, we're in the right path. If this is happening,
right,
where we're supposed to be, like right before shooting. And then Milena Smith, who plays Anna, and my character, not my character, myself as an actress, we started competing for the attention of the little actress who was 1 year old. And we were not even realizing it until later we saw the movie, and I told her, are you aware that we were competing for the poor little girl that is just 1, and we were always attention? And she started laughing and said, actually, it's true. We've been doing that the whole movie. And it's okay. When that happens, it's a good sign. It's like things are happening almost on a cellular level that you cannot really, it's not a thought, it's on a deeper level. And I love when that happens, because it doesn't happen on every movie, for sure.
True, 100%. Another thing that doesn't happen all that often is the kind of love story between you and Javier, right? I'm curious, and I don't want to stay on this too long, but I am curious on, like, because it's right now, it's about to get crazy for the both of you, right? The award season is about to, I believe both of you are going to have a very fruitful award season.
Oh, I don't know, but.
And I wonder how you lean on each other in some of the madness, right? As so many of us are looking to people who seem to be getting it right when it comes to relationships. I think sometimes we try to glean a little bit of advice or a little bit of insight into how you make it work. And so I was just curious, like when it gets crazy, like how do you guys do it?
No, because it doesn't really get crazy, because we love acting. We love this profession. In my case, I didn't have anyone in my family that was doing anything related to acting, but in his case, mother, grandparents, sister, brother, everywhere. So we do love this profession so much. So the fact that we have opportunities, to do films that we love, we're just grateful for that and celebrating that. And we don't take it for granted at all. And then anything else that can happen is, like you said, like an extra. What you were thinking about when I won in Venice is like, you don't expect that. If it happens, is great, but it's not good to expect it or to think that it's going to happen.
True.
And yeah, we know each other for 30 years because actually my first movie was also his first movie. Right. And that's when we met. So before that, we were friends for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm picking it up. You said, so be friends first. I got it. Okay, I'm working. You listen.
I mean, I don't know. This is our case.
I love. Okay, listen, we want to take you on kind of what we call at Access Hollywood, the fashion flashback. And so Marielle is going to actually show some photos that we love from previous events, things like that. And if you could just tell me something that you remember in particular about this. I believe this was the first Oscar.
I remember this very well because this was my second time at the Oscars, and Pedro was nominated for Best Foreign Film, and Antonio and I gave it to him because he won. And there with my sister Salma, who I love so much.
I love it. Okay,
that was a Ralph Lauren gown that he made.
One of my favorite photos of you. Yeah, I was gonna say one of my favorite photos of you of all time. Okay, we've got another one. I think this is from Cannes. Come on.
Yeah, that was the premiere of Pirates in Cannes. And I was breastfeeding my son. So I had to be like running out of the theater, like going back. I went to the Oscars when he was 1 month old. And I remember that was an adventure too with the pumping machine.
Wait, you went to the Oscars with the pumping machine?
Mm-hmm. I had to. There was no other choice.
Wow.
No other option.
I mean, it is so the things you never, as a guy in particular, the things you never think of, but also the stories behind some of like fashion's biggest nights. Like, who would have ever thought?
No, but that was Cannes. But when I went the night of the Oscars that I'm telling you, I had to go with a pumping machine. My son was 1 month old. And then the year after, I went to one of their rooms in the backstage, and I saw Natalie Portman doing the same thing. And I loved it. I loved it because it's like, see, I'm not the only one who does this here.
Yeah, this is where we are. This is the situation. I love it. Okay, so here is, I believe this is Oscars 2007.
Yeah, there I was nominated for Volver, and that was my first nomination. And this is a dress from Versace that I love so much.
I mean,
and actually this dress appeared the day before. It was like a miracle because the one that I was gonna wear didn't work, and then there was like an emergency. We don't have anything, and this huge box appeared with Christina Elrich, with my stylist, and that was there, and it fit perfectly, and that doesn't happen normally.
See,
something like that would appear the day before.
She's like a fairy godmother, I feel like. She just makes it happen.
And this is a beautiful vintage Chanel dress. And I think it was from the 90s. And I had seen it in one of the shows, and they had it in the archives. And I wore it for the premiere of 9 in New York.
9, yeah. What do you remember about, I mean, because I feel like you and Chanel have like a real love story also.
Of course. I mean, my first Chanel show was in 1992. That's when I met Carl and Elsa and many of the people that work there. They are all my friends. Virginie is amazing. She's doing incredible things with the brand. I am really their biggest fan. When I talk about Chanel, I get very excited because since I was a little girl, I have admired so much what they do. And I am so honored to be an ambassador of the brand.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I am really excited about this spy thriller that you're a part of. Now tell me, is it the 355 or the 3? It's the 355, right?
The 355.
I mean, to put you all together, this female cast, like I'm ready to see you ladies kick some real ass.
The movie is really good. We're really happy with it. And it's a genre where you normally, in a spy film, normally you don't see like 5 female lead that are the ones solving the big problems. And the script is so smart. It's also funny. It doesn't have, cliches around it. It's just real people doing these jobs. In my case, my character is a psychologist. She's not an agent on the field, but something happened where she's forced to be with them on the field. and she doesn't want to because she's a mother and she doesn't want to be there. And she's terrified of being with them in this adventure. And when Jessica Chastain called me to be a part of this, and I was very happy about it because I really like her work. And and she told me, what would you like to play? What kind of character in this spy work? And I said to her, I would love to play the fish out of water, you know. Students can identify with somebody that doesn't belong there and say, okay, maybe that would be me in that situation, like doesn't know how to use guns, doesn't want to learn, karate, taekwondo, like she's good at what she does. She's really good and really clever at what she does, but she's also a mom. It's not her specialty to be on the field. So
yeah,
I was very happy to be able to bring that into this genre, you know, that fish out of water character.
I love it. I can't wait to see it. But I'm going to be honest with you. There was a portion of what you just said. You said, I'm excited about bringing this character, and you just did your hair kind of like this, and you looked toward the window, and it almost looked like a photo shoot, Penelope. Like no joke. You just have this kind of, you have this effortless, it feels like this effortless ease, this ease and beauty, this ease.
Oh, you're too kind. No, I think it's all about the light. Bad light, good light, this side, bad, this side is good. All about the light.
I love it. I'm going to let you go on this. You have been in this business for over 30 years. You have been brand ambassadors for fashion houses. You have made fashion moments on carpets and in magazines and in film. I'm curious about what the beauty, like secret, like if there's a product or a practice that you know now that you practice all the time, you use all the time, that you wish you knew 30 years ago.
For me, the Lancôme products really work, and I don't say it just because I work with them. It's just that because of so many years together, like I've even been like there, like close to the labs and knowing what they use and the products that are involved and the chemicals that are involved, like and I love the way they work, and it's like another, you know, like my Lancôme family, like so many years together. 15 is a long time.
It's a long time. Wait, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I love what you even said. Listen, it's all about the light.
It's a lot about the light. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's so good to catch up with you. Really, truly, congratulations. I have a feeling we'll be seeing you on some carpets very, very soon.
Oh, thank you so much. You're very kind. Thank you for the interview.